We're on Lamed Vav. Nizdak Nikiv, if it's got a crack or a hole. We're talking about the esrog. Tani Ula Bachina, Nikiv Nekiv Mufumash. If the hole is a through and through hole that goes from one side to the other, then it's no matter how small the hole is, b'mashahu, it would be possible. V'she'eno foolish. If it's not a hole all the way through, then if the hole is the size of an isser, which is a coin, then it would be possible. Boy Rav. Noldu be'etrog simoni treifa man. So the Gemara seems to make a connection between trephis by animals and psul by etrog. And it wants to know whether a certain siman treifa by an animal would also be a siman psul by the etrog. Mike, what specific issue are you dealing with? Niklav. If we're talking peeled, so Tanina, the Mishnah already dealt with the peeled esrog. Nizda. If we're talking about crack, Tanina. So what psul are you referring to? And Nikiv Tanina, a hole we've already dealt with. You have a lung that has become liquefied. Ksheira. When Amarava, who the kaima sympona, as long as the bronchial, the trachea and the bronchi are still intact. Halot kaimi sympona, if the bronchias and tracheas are also dissolved, treifa, then the animal would be treifa. So the shaila is hachamai, by the esrog, what would be the din? By a lung, where the lung is on the inside, it's not exposed to air, hadar bari, it will heal. Aval hacha, but by an esrog, maybe it'll turn rotten. So toshma, etrog tapuach, if an etrog is swollen, saruach, has become rotten. Kavush, pickle, shalot, soap, kushi, dark, lavan, white, manumar, like a leopard, spotted, puzzle. Etrog kadur, if it's like a round, like a ball, puzzle. Some people say that if the pitum is missing, a tyoim is like a double esrog, like a twin. Esrog aboiser, which is a very unripe esrog, Rabbi Kiva poisa, gidlo batfus. Let's say you are a farmer and you grew an esrog, but you put it in some kind of form, a form, so that it'll grow according to a certain form, and you made it look like a bird. Right, you wanted to grow the esrog to have a certain shape. It's possible. So Ktoni Mias comes out from this baraisa. Tapuach saruach. Now my love, tapuach means swollen mibachutz, v'saruch mibifnim, and the klipa is there. So that's like a lung, and yet it's possible. So of course it's low. Idivi mibachutz. We're talking about both tapuach and saruch is from the outside. Loy kasha. If it's swollen, even though it did not rot, it would be possible. If it's rotted without swelling, the esrog is also possible. Etrog kushi possible. A black esrog is possible. Vahatanya kushi kosher. Doimela kushi possible. If it's kushi, it's okay. If it's similar to a kushi, it's possible. Our Mishnah is also talking about something that's similar to a kushi. Rav Amar Loi Kasha, Halan, Haluhu. In our area where most of our etrogim are clean, so any shinui would make it possible. But their etrogim are not so clean, so that type of etrog kushi would be okay. Etrog aboiser, if the etrog is not right. Rabbi Kiva pois v'chacham machshir. Amar Rabba, Rabbi Kiva, Rabbi Shimon, Amru davar echad. Rabbi Kiva, Rabbi Shimon taught the same halacha. Rabbi Kiva hadamar, which we mentioned. Rabbi Shimon Mayi, what's the din of Rabbi Shimon? The Tanya. Rabbi Shimon poiter estroigim b'koitna. Rabbi Shimon tells you that if you have estroigim, you have to give meiser. If they're very small and unripe, they're potter from meiser. Maybe that's not the same machlokas. Maybe Rabbi Kiva, if by an unripe estrog, doesn't allow it because it lacks hidur. Aval hasam, but maybe by the Indian of meiser, that maybe even a small or unripe estrog would require meiser. Or inami akam like you have to give meiser for your tvua kederch shebnei adam moitzim lezriya. It's what most people take out to the field to deal with, and an unripe is not royal lezriya. So maybe that's why it's not chayv meiser. Aval hacha, maybe here rabbanon svirulei. Maybe he'll allow an esrog that's unripe, like the chachamim, not like Rabbi Kiva. The Sulam median, there's nothing else to say about that. Then Gidlo Batfus, we said if you grow an esrog in some kind of shape, Basam Kimin Briacheres possible. You make it look like some other item, it's possible. Amar Rav Loishan Kimin Briacheres. Aval Kibri also, but it looks like an esrog possible, kosher. More pshita Kimin Briacheres, it's not. It says very clearly that it doesn't look like itself. Dapi Dapi is like an estrog that has like multiple crack, it looks like an estrog still. Rashi says, come in crush him, like lumber panels placed next to each other, like a round, almost like a mill, says Rashi. That would be okay. Itmar. Estrog shenekfu achborim. Mice made a hole in the estrog. Amarav ein zahadar. It's not kosher because it lacks hidur. Rav Chanina was yotze with such an esrog. Afraid to Rav Chanina kasha mashnisa. Our Mishnah is kasha, which says if it has a neked, it's not good, and if it's chos or anything, it's not good. So bishma mastis Rav Chanina kasha can be ontav rishon, can be ontav sheni. Maybe Rav Chanina will not allow on Yontav Rishon, but on Yontav Sheni he'd allow it. And the Rav Kasha, but the way Rav learned its problem. Rav says that when mice eat it, it's ma'us. It's not even it lacks hidur. It becomes ma'us lifnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That an etrog with a hole in it is still hot. Because we saw Rav Chanina used it. Rav Chanina kasha must be. Like kasha can be ontav rishon, can be ontav. That he didn't use it on Yontav Rishon, but he would use it on Yontav Shem. Esrog cotton. That they used to use stones on Shabbos to clean themselves in the bathroom. And this is dealing, what's the shear of an esrog cotton? So we're saying that the machlokas here is the same as the machlokas there, the Tanya. You're allowed to bring three, normally stones are muktzah, but these stones, three stones you could bring into the bathroom. How much shear? Or egos, the size of a walnut. Or you know, the size of an egg. What's too big of an esrog? He was carrying an esrog on his shoulders. There's no raya because the chachamim, when he came in with it, told him it's not a kosher esser because it lacks hidur. Then the Mishnah says, when you tie up the lulav with the hadasik naravus, you have to use the species of a lulav itself. Like when we buy lulav, and they peel off a lulav, and they use that to do the egg. He says no, you could use even a regular rope. Doesn't have to be the min of the lulav. We paskin like Rav Yehuda. That's because of hidur, but really it's mutter with other ones as well. They would use like golden thread. Yeah, that's no raya because underneath the gold was the lulav itself, and the gold was only to decorate it. You can use the moss of a palm tree or the roots of a palm tree. Means you can use any part of the palm. He held that lulav needs to be high. And the problem is, if you bring rope, then have a chamisha meaning. You don't have 4 meaning, you have 5 meaning. So it's got to bring it from the same min. Where do we know that the root of a palm and the moss of a palm are considered part of the Tanya? It says Basukos Teshvu. Sukkah shall call Dover de Rabbi. There's no specific material that a sukkah has to be built with. It could be built with steel, it could be with cement, it could be built with wood. Sukkah can be built with anything. Rabbi Yehuda says no. The sukkah also has to be made from the same species that a lulav comes. V'hadin noisin, and he learns a kavachomer. The mitzvah of lulav was only in the daytime, not at night. This is Dr. Agustin. Hello. Thank you. So lulav has to be from the arba minim, even though it's only noig in the daytime. Sukkah shenoheges balelos kavyomi. You have to sit in the sukkah day and night. It should certainly be from the arba minim. Armor law called din sha'ata dam tchilasu lahachir. The soifel lahachir eno din. Anything that starts off that you're going to really be a chumrah, but in the end is going to be a kula, is not, you can't learn a kavach from. Because in the end, you're going to be you're going to end up with a kula, as Gemara is going to explain in the next daf, which we'll learn tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll learn also 9:30, like the regular.
Why not, Ernie? Why not 9? Shabbos ends 8:26.
Fine, 9 o'clock. We can learn at 9 o'clock tomorrow.
Great.
You put it out to everybody. You should call everybody.
Take a good shot.
Ernie, Shabbat Shalom.